Knit your way to the top and take out your rivals in ArchRavels.
Hey gang, and thanks for joining us here at In-House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sarah Meadows, and today we're previewing the game ArchRavels from XYZ Game Labs. It's from designer Adam McCrimmon and Jordan Miller.
The game is for 2 to 4 players. It's a set collection game that'll take you about 30 to 45 minutes to play. XYZ Game Labs sent us a copy of the game, so let's take a look at how it's played.
To set up the game, assemble the yarn deck and create the Bazaar by revealing 6 yarn cards and 3 cards from the project deck.
Give each player their board, action token, yarn bowl, 1 of each color of yarn, and 3 pattern tiles, and then you're ready to begin.
On their turn, players will select 1 action from their board. They may not choose the same action from last turn.
They may shop and gain yarn from the Bazaar, spend their yarn to craft items, exchange yarn, or they may take a special action.
Then you must restock the Yarn Bazaar. If events are drawn, they are immediately resolved. And if special requests are drawn, they must be taken or given to another player.
Then you may complete any projects, spend items to learn a new pattern, or frog an item to gain back the yarn.
Once the project deck is depleted, points are tallied and the player with the most points wins.
ArchRavels is a brightly illustrated, very fun looking, easy to jump into game that's got some pretty neat components. We obviously are looking at a prototype copy of the game, and it looks like, according to their Kickstarter, that they're going to have some really nice stretch goals which will allow for some custom shapes in there and maybe some plastic trays that will hold all your things. So this has the potential to be a really nice package when they're done with it.
Yeah, and it has a nice table presence when it has components that will help hold all of the little pieces on your table and keep things organized. They did mention that they're hoping to have some, instead of the colored discs, having them different shapes so that colorblind people can also play the game without having any trouble in distinguishing what yarn is which type, which color.
We had a fun time playing the game. One of the nice things about it is that it is easy to jump into because the rule set is very straightforward. On your turn, you've really only got, for the most part, 3 actions to choose from because you're choosing the remaining 3 that you didn't use last time, which really helps to reduce the AP, but figuring out which one of those to use based on what's kind of out on the table is the fun part of the game, and being able to kind of predetermine what you might be doing on your next turn is a great way to avoid downtime. The game doesn't really have any of that because you're able to plan what you want to do, take the turn immediately on your turn, and then make those trades and build the different items.
On your turn, after you have done your action, then you'll refill the Bazaar if there are empty spaces. Those empty spaces count as wild if other players, if events have come up, you don't refill them. You only draw what is needed, and then events or special request orders are removed and those spots are left open. So sometimes you may end up leaving a spot open and the other player who is next will have a choice of whatever token they would like, whatever color. But
those action cards are interesting because it's almost kind of a push your luck type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're kind of 50% of them are good, where everybody might benefit from it or you might benefit from it. 50% of them are actually like dangerous to yourself, or you might have to be giving away your yarn balls. One of the interesting things I found in the game is that each player has a slightly unique board. There's really only like one-ish thing different on each board, but that can really kind of determine your strategy in the game. Last time we were playing, she was benefiting from getting more of the yarn balls out of the Bazaar, and I was just able to like draw 3 colored balls specifically that I wanted. That allowed me to avoid drawing the cards, and it worked out in my favor because she was drawing cards a lot of times where she was having to give me yarn. Or
a lot of event cards came up when I was drawing, but that's because I was drawing a whole lot more in the game.
Right.
If you fulfill items and are able to make and create items, those still have a benefit at the end of the game because they are still worth points. Although if you're left with yarn, that is negative points. So if you are able to use up exactly what you need and have none left over and then end the game, it could be devastating for other players who have hoarded lots and lots of yarn throughout the game and not used it wisely.
Yeah, very potentially. I know that she kind of stuck me with some yarn at the end of the last game because she was able to fulfill 2 of those cards and knock it out, and I was kind of stuck with a bunch of stuff in my hand. I think I did actually win,
Yeah,
but
you did.
but by a definitely smaller margin. The games that we've played have been very tight, which is interesting, and we've had a good time with it overall. If ArchRavels sounds like something you'd be interested in, then be sure to check it out on Kickstarter right now. Help them hit some of those stretch goals and get the really nice components, because I think this has the potential to be a really nice, tight box in the end. Thank you guys so much for watching and commenting and liking and subscribing. We'll see you guys in the next video. I think we should just say, darn it, ArchRavels. Because see, like, darning is like a thing that they...
Darning
Did you guys get that? Play. XYZ Lat. Triple Stitch that puppy. It's a 2 to 4 player game. What are we doing?
Set collection.
Set collection.
And then he will benefit from them if he's able to not gain the cards on his turn.
Literally made no sense.
Okay, sorry.